It seems like the issue of premix fuel and all of the concomitant issues that go along with distributing premix fuel crop up as a perennial issue. Why? That is the question. How is it that we still haven't found a way to streamline the distribution of premix fuel such that we don't have issues like what we're facing currently again, where fisherfolk are complaining about the shortage of premix fuel and their lack of access to it and the issues with the distribution chain? Well, let's take a quick look at this report.
Where premix fuel is being distributed or sold to fisherfolk at the Tema fishing harbour. On an ordinary day, if you came here, you would notice that breaks activities would have been happening here because the premix fuel would have been sold to the fisherfolk here. But that is not the case today because of the shortage of the premix fuel nationwide. Even as you can see, the barrels are empty, and a concern that has been raised by the fisherfolk. I'll engage these fisherfolk and ask them how the situation is impacting their operations.
Petrol almost about 2 months to 3 months ni petrol ba ke ba den chen ke ba wo ba to lai wona ko atoshman ke afla wo drum jiami ke ahon meni nsumo kalabuli ahon me o le men wa we ke wona ko be ka di min ton ma we be money ne wala kalabuli place ni le sumo le ba hon le benakamu maile
truele gbewowole bi ani petrol ba confesse ba ni afoye choni na ahon le 550 ke coupon fin na ma hiyo she bi ani ba don ni bi ani loli petrol amehio loli petrol na me kenya loli petrol hu bi ani gallon 7 ni je yellow ke first ka afoye chone na 550 she bi ane ke afoye petrol shele 5 million ke mu na ka ba ame ba he ke mi se fin 5 million ni ekwe ni loe be she pon be she loe enwengbe e wo be sani ahe tomo enyo lo etin e wo kun ke wo ba pa fa keke akeko baba ni akeba wo shele ko ni mo fi amu aya he ona ache no onu
ya yum nya jeja ya mbam nya nkosku o mutiti fie adenti because of yenya premise and cop ya branch government o ye bibi mai
Onye dem am
omo me patro ni mba ne yeso kenu ni miso sabi me so me san adwuma ha ana miso papa ye.
With me here is Mark Ashikwe. He is a premix fuel attendant at the Tema landing beach. I'll speak to him and find out from him what actually the situation is. Hello, sir. You're welcome to the Citi newsroom.
Is that since 2 months is this, we are not hearing anything about the premix. We wait a lot of meeting, but they not told me anything about that. Right now, affecting the fishermen print. If I not tell you the truth, one liter of premix like 7 gallons is cost about 5.6. Then maybe if we are going to the fishing one day, you used about 1,008 to go to the fishing that we are not getting any fishing. That means you lose today. That's why the fishermen they are suffering for that. Right now I want the government run away on the season. When we are not getting the premix to go to the fishing, it brings a lot of problem in the town. I'll force the government that in this time let's make the premix come forward. Then everybody goes to the work successful.
Meanwhile, the National Premix Fuel Secretariat has indicated that government is working assiduously to resolve the situation. Yeah, Mogo. Meanwhile, the National Premix Fuel Secretariat has indicated that government is working assiduously to resolve the situation.
Admittedly, we are having challenges as far as the distribution or supply of premix fuel is concerned. For the past few weeks, we've had issues with our BDCs, people we call the bulk distributing companies. They are responsible for importing fuel into the country. And currently, as you may be aware, the prices of fuel has skyrocketed. In the past year or so, prices have tripled. And premix fuel, as we have it currently, is highly subsidized by government. A gallon of premix fuel until recently goes for 10 cedis, 40 pesos. and a gallon of premix fuel is getting close to 100 cities. Make sure that as soon as possible, we resolve these issues with our BDCs, we resolve the issues with all the relevant stakeholders to ensure that Premix fuel comes back onto the market.
Well, let's touch base with Nana Jojo Solomon. He's the acting president of the National Canoe Fishermen Council. Good morning, Nana Jojo. Welcome to Breakfast Daily. Hello, Nana Jojo.
Yes.
Hi, good morning.
Madam. Yes.
Good morning. How are you?
No complaints at all.
Oh, okay. Oh, no complaints. So is everything fine with the premix with the premix fuel situation?
Yes, because the fourth estate has taken over, so no complaints.
Oh, I like that. I like that. So you've handed it over to us now to advocate on your behalf.
Absolutely.
We shall try to do that. But okay, Nana Jojo, let's go back a few months. Okay. Now my colleague David and I were here hosting this very same show. We were told, in fact, we were assured that the premix brouhaha was a thing of the past, that now there was a streamlined program which involved issuing cards to Fisherfolk where you would be clearly identified, everybody would have equal access to fuel, it would be distributed in a particular way, the premix stations would be up and running. We were told that there was a whole new system in place that was going to make issues like this a thing of the past. What has happened?
Yes. Well, thank you very much, and thank you. Good morning to Citi FM listeners. In your submission, we're talking about, I can see clearly, we're talking about two different things. The supply of premix fuel so that the right recipients will access the premix fuel is what we discussed with you a short while ago. And that has to do with the automation.
Yes.
What is trending now, or what is trending now, is the fact that there's absolutely no premix in the system. Let alone sell it through the old pumps or the automation, the automated machines, or
To the best of your knowledge, what accounts for the shortage?
Yes, we've had series of engagements, meetings with the Honorable Minister. Clearly, all indications point to the fact that it is beyond her. Ministry of Fisheries, they only consume premix, but the actual institution that is responsible for the production of premix, I think, is the MPA and the Ministry of Energy. And the premix is not forthcoming. Anytime we sit down with the minister, you can see that frantically she makes calls to talk to Ministry of Finance, she calls the Jubilee House, she's calling Energy. So, we are in the same boat with her. Fortunately for her, industry has a very good working relationship with her and her team, the minister, her deputy, and the entire team. That is what has held the fishermen back for 3 to 4 months. Fishermen are not used to that. But now the kind of intelligence and signals we have taken, especially yesterday was World Fisheries Day, and a lot of media houses had interactions with fishermen, and they are angry and they want to hit the streets. And we need to be proactive. We are still talking to them, we're still talking to the ministry, but I believe that since it is beyond her, we've asked the Honorable Minister to lead us to the presidency where we can engage the president and let the president know what really is happening. If we do not solve the domestic fish issue, then therefore we'll have to use oil and gas money to import fish and just eat posterity will judge us. So there's the need for us to fix the problem locally so that the oil and gas money can be used at Heritage Fund like it has been intended for.
Now, Jojo, there's been conversations about alternatives to premix, something that's more sustainable. over the long term. What are your thoughts about that?
Come again.
There have been conversations about alternatives to premix so that the over dependence on premix will reduce so that you can have some kind of sustainable fuel supply. What do you think about that?
I think it will be fantastic. The question of alternative fuel, fossil fuel is out because even gas oil or diesel is even more expensive than petrol now. So we may be looking at what do you call it? Solar.
Okay.
Which is about technology that is not within, our jurisdiction at all. We are only consumers. We more than welcome any form of alternative source of power that will, take us back and forth. You understand? We welcome it, but as we speak right now, that is not for us to determine because it is the scientists that must come on board. Technology must come on board. But we are reliably informed that the attributable gas, there's a residue called condensate.
Okay.
Condensate.
Yeah, we heard about that yesterday, actually.
Yes, and then that can take about 3/4 of the burden of government. And we also need government to engage us, fishermen, because for us, we speak to the ordinary fisherman. They tell us clearly that, they all appreciate the fact that world price of fuel has surged everywhere. It is a global thing. So it is not sustainable, it is not realistic in the face of all these crises. Selling export price of petrol is about almost 80 cedis and we are still buying premix for 10 cedis. It doesn't make sense. So if government engages us, we are prepared to meet government halfway. Maybe 30 cedis, 40 cedis, or even 50 cedis. There should be that interaction. Nobody is talking to us, apart from us talking to the ministry or the leadership. We should be given the opportunity to also see what we can do to augment government efforts.
Okay, so you're actually willing to negotiate the subsidy. You think it's realistic?
It doesn't make sense for us to continue buying fuel for 10 cedis in the face of this global oil surge.
To make it less expensive for government to provide it to you. I think that's fair. But you just said that there's a good relationship between the minister and her team and the fishing community. So why hasn't that discussion been had?
I think maybe because I don't know whether it's a matter of policy or a comment mistake. That's why we are asking her to lead us to the presidency, where if we are confronted with all the truths of the matter, then we can also come up with this suggestion that we as consumers, we as fishermen are prepared to also cushion government subsidy by also jumping from 10 cities to maybe 40 cities. We are prepared to do it.
Wow.
I'm not talking on my own. We have spoken to fishermen in all the focus regions, and this is the consensus.
Because all you need is the fuel. You need the fuel in order to work.
As we speak right now, some companies are buying the super, and then we have to buy engine oil in addition. So we are looking at almost 100 cedis per gallon. So why can't we buy premix for 40, even 50 cedis?
Yeah.
Okay.
I agree.
Yeah.
I agree. It makes a lot of sense.
Thank you as well,
Nana Jojo Solomon, thank you so much. All
You're
right.
welcome.
Thank you. So we were speaking with Nana Jojo Solomon, who is the vice president, acting president, actually, of the National Canoe Fishermen's Council. Yeah. I think that the conversation about moving away from premix is long overdue, right? And then also there's this whole cartel thing, if you watch a report, people are talking about Kalabule. Kalabule, basically, for those who missed it, is this whole thing where people hoard and then they now sell at exorbitant prices when the demand versus supply, favors those who are supplying. And so it pushes the price upwards, and I think as well, it could be a worldwide phenomenon, but in Ghana, we take it to the next level, man. You know, where we just abuse the fact that, you know,
There's a shortage of something.
the shortage of something, you know, and it's
whether real or artificial.
it's unbelievable, you know. But we need to take it out of the hands of people who want to do this. And I have heard rumors of I think it was it on Eyewitness News yesterday? People were talking about party boys, as it were, you know, hoarding fuel and reselling at their own prices.
We'll never learn.
It's an unfortunate situation, you know, that we find ourselves in, especially at the time. And you see, what we don't realize is that everything is 360. Everything is 360. So what's happening is that if it affects the price the gentleman said 1,800 Ghana cedis is what you're going to spend on fuel to go out and then come back. Yeah. Now, if you go with that amount of money, by the time you come back and you have no catch, okay, that you have to buy the same amount of fuel again to go again another night, you know. And so it's a problem. And then you also have the issue of, you know, fishing in shallow waters, you know, just getting rid of all the pelagic fish. At that stage, they are not yet ready to be fished. So you finish them off, then you don't have grown fish. You're depleting the resources. All kinds of complex things. Meanwhile, we have an entire ministry that we've set up for fisheries.
That the same issues persist.
Yeah.
Oh gosh.
Yeah.
It's depressing.
Yeah. I mean, I was looking at. Let me just take you back quickly. I was looking at citinewsroom.com, and you can also go over there and check it out. I just typed in Premix into a search, looking at the stories, that we have on Premix, right? Look at some of the headlines. Very interesting. I mean, let me go back a little bit. So I'll go back to, let's say, National Premix Fuel Secretariat vows to deal with hoarders. They're still hoarding. 2 arrested in Keta for allegedly diverting premix fuel. We've deployed a more efficient premix fuel management system, Howard Kumson. Premix Secretariat assures of resolving shortages of the product. MP demands action on premix fuel shortage. World Fisheries Day, Fisherfolk lament premix fuel shortage. This is the most current one that's happening. A fisherman threatened to embark on demo over premix fuel shortage. Fisherfolk struggling to pay back loans over premix fuel shortage. Nilante Vanderpoy. And then the latest one is criticisms over premix shortage unfortunate. This is coming from the Secretariat. All right? And so this story is not going away anytime soon.
No.
Unless we are willing to walk the walk. You know, all the nice things that we say, it's okay, but deliver. All right? It's not rocket science. So let's deliver.
Enough said.
All right.
Enough said. Okay.
We have a very interesting health segment that's coming up. We'll take a quick break. Don't go anywhere. Be right back.